Oh, hey folks, in this quick video I'm going to run through just a handful of other straggling questions that have come in on the channel, which is great, and if you stick around I will show you what I think is the best way to mount a place for your cell phone in the Clarity and other cars. So stick around, thanks so much.
This question came in from a viewer who was curious to know if you can precondition or preheat the cabin while it's plugged in to 240 in this case, which is what I have, while you're in the car. So what I took that to mean is there a way that you can turn on, quote unquote, the car and have the cabin heat come on while you're in it and while it's plugged in? So I spent some time investigating that, and I'm going to show you folks what my results are. So here I am. Again, you'll see that the car will say that I'm plugged in. Yeah, see, remove charge connector. So I've turned on, you know, the dial is red here, so that means the car's running. But the motor, of course, is not running because the check engine light is on, a few other things. So no matter what I do, and I've tried it a few different ways, I cannot get the car to do anything other than accessory mode when I'm sitting in it like this when it's plugged in. And that means, of course, that you can hear the fan running, so the fan will run, but what happens is, of course, the heat will not come on because it's not actually running. It's just running off the 12 volt as opposed, like a regular car, as opposed to anything else. So no, unfortunately, you cannot preheat the cabin this way, but what you certainly can do is, you know, let's turn it off. I'll lock it because the keys are in my hand, and we'll pretend that I'm you know, no longer in the car, and then I'll push the precondition button, and then it should flash 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. So, oh, and a couple to confirm. So the car is now preconditioning, and I'm sitting in it, and it's plugged in, but the car doesn't actually think that I'm in the car because, again, I've got the alarm arm. So if I open the door right now, of course, it would all start beeping at me and hollering at me, so I won't do that. But at least you folks know that that's how, if you want to, you can sit in the car and have it preconditioned while it's charging. Anyway, thanks folks, on to the next. Hey folks, the next small mystery which I finally want to put to bed is the damn brake lights and the Regen paddles. Now, I've done 2 videos, as you will have seen, with my GoPro stuck to the back of the camera and with me narrating what I'm doing, and as I recall, I even held my phone in my hand to do that. And none of those situations, under heavy braking, it's under heavy regen rather, did the taillights come on. However, it took all of this crap snow and the car being dirty as hell for me to be able to see that when the battery is fully charged, the battery, the traction batteries, that is, the traction motor, whatever, when that thing is fully charged and I use the Regen paddles, lo and behold, through all the dirt in the back of the window, I saw the brake lights come on. So let's say for the software revision that I'm at, which is the latest, that puts that to bed. No, I couldn't make it come on during driving, typical with you know, obviously maybe half a charge or so, but with a full charge, as in just unplugging this thing and starting to drive it down the street, and when I pull the Regen paddles, the tail lights finally come on. So now I know. Small mystery solved in the world of Clarity. So let's move on to the next one. Thanks. Okay folks, so hopefully you can hear me. As I say, I was asked to make a video about the cruise control drift in my Honda Clarity, my 2018. Obviously this wouldn't be unique to just this car. Now I have the radar cruise, I have that on, the whatever they call it, the active cruise control. So right now it's pretty steady. I have it set for 105. I live in Canada, so we do everything in metric. But you know, if I give it a bit of throttle and accelerate on my own, and then watch it try to settle back down, it does kind of vary a little bit. Like a lot of cars, of course, you lift off the throttle until you can kind of feel the mechanical cruise control kind of come back on, but see, it's still kind of struggling. It's a slight incline, but it's not a lot. It should be kind of pretty quick to catch up to that. Plus, well, you'll see it's picking up a car in front of me. But yeah, there, see, now it's even accelerated slightly higher than it should. Again, it's not earth-shattering, but couple K there. Now that doesn't count because it's behind another car here. Hang on a second. there, sorry about that. We'll catch up back here. I'll set it for 100, so that way some cars will pull away from me instead of me creeping up on some of the slower moving folks. You can see up in the ACC, it does pick up a car in front of me. There, now it just left, but 100 kilometers, bang on. I mean, that's good. But again, if I give it a bit of throttle, accelerate up, and then let it accelerate back down, it is a little bit slow to respond, and it will drift occasionally up and down. You know, that's probably pretty typical. I'm sure these speedometers are pretty darn accurate. I did compare it with the GPS on my phone one point, and it was pretty much bang on. So that's all good. But here, let's go back down just a couple. Let's see, here, ease off, and then we'll hit resume again. There it is. It's a little slow to respond. You can see the power meter creeping up just a little bit. It should be moving a little bit faster. There we go, almost 100. There we go. Wow, perfect. So again, should it be a little quicker? Yeah, and in sport mode it certainly would be, but as you can see from where the power meter is, there's a ton of additional oomph it could provide to catch you back up there in time. So, you know, is it a big criticism? No, it's not, but it'd be nice if it was a little more accurate and a little more likely to stick around, especially you know, I don't do it very often, but if you happen to be going a little bit quick and it catches you up and you're 2 or 3 kilometers an hour faster than you're expecting to be, you know, then could that be an impact on you getting a ticket or not? Maybe, maybe not. But all that being said, now that I'm saying that and I'm on a pretty level ground here, it's doing a darn good job of keeping me at exactly 100. No trouble at all. So yeah, see, maybe we'll use this video as evidence that yes, there's some drift involved. Is it a lot? Hardly. Is it really worth getting upset about? I mean, not that anyone is, but no, it's certainly not. And I bet it's pretty typical, you know, given that how accurate the speedometer is in this car and certainly in modern cars, I'm sure it's far more likely to stick to that speed than any old traditional vacuum type of mechanical cruise control. So, okay, and a bonus little feature here is, no, I'm not saying it's groundbreaking, but I finally figured out in my mind where the best way to mount your damn cell phone is in this car, and I'm going to show you that, and you can solve this with a couple of those Scosche or 3M, you know, they're not metal of course, but they're magnets. Here, let me show you. You know, a couple of these things, here we go, like they're not magnetic themselves, and I don't have the sticky off the back because what I do is in my car, or in my phone rather, let's turn this around, here we go. See, I put a couple of these in, and that's the reason why, and I don't want to stick them to my phone, so that's why I'm not doing it, but have those in, put my phone in, and then lo and behold, I went and bought some tiny rare earth magnets from actually Lee Valley. I happen to have them here, and I put them right there, and then it holds the thing really well. It doesn't move. Obviously those magnets are pretty sturdy, and as long as I have the those Scosche and 3M things in there, they're holding it. The only trick is I do occasionally bump it with my knee, but I'm pretty tall, so I wouldn't expect that's too much of a trouble for everyone else. And one other mildly bonus feature about this whole silly thing is, if I can find it, I hate fishing around underneath the bridge, which this thing is, for the charge cable, and look, it's stuck to some more magnets I have under there. So what I do is, when I don't have the phone here, I just make sure that I leave that there, so that when I get back in the car, I can just plug in, and it sits there, and it does a pretty damn good job with that. My only other thing that I'd like to do is make sure that I can get a smaller charge cable, because there's quite a bit coiled underneath here, but you know, is it groundbreaking? No, but is it, do I find it sort of substantially more convenient than usual? Yes, I do, actually. Or than alternatives? Yes, I do. So go get yourself some 3M things from Scosche or whatever they are. They're like $10. These rare earth magnets were about the same, like maybe $5 probably, depending where you go. Put them there, and there you go. Now you've got yourself a pretty decent phone mounting situation. All right, thanks folks. I appreciate you watching.